She lost her husband, her home, and her future. Yet one decision changed everything. This is the inspiring story of Ruth, a woman whose loyalty and faith touched generations. There was a time when the land of Israel suffered from a terrible famine. Food became scarce, and many families struggled simply to survive. Among them was a man named Elimelech. Hoping to protect his wife Naomi and their 2 sons, he left Bethlehem and moved to the neighboring land of Moab. At first, life seemed to improve. The famine was behind them, and the family began to build a new life. But then tragedy struck. Elimelech died, leaving Naomi alone with her 2 sons. Years later, the sons married Moabite women. One married Orpah, and the other married Ruth. For a while, Naomi found comfort in knowing her sons had started families of their own. Then another heartbreaking tragedy came. Both of Naomi's sons died. In a foreign land, 3 widows were left with no husbands, no children, and no one to provide for them. When Naomi heard that the famine in Bethlehem had ended, she decided to return home. Before leaving, she turned to her daughters-in-law. "My daughters," she said gently, "return to your families. May the Lord bless you with new lives." Both women cried. Neither wanted to leave her. Eventually, Orpah kissed Naomi goodbye and returned to her people. But Ruth refused to leave. She looked into Naomi's eyes and spoke words that would be remembered for thousands of years. "Do not urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God." Those were not empty words. Ruth left behind her homeland, her relatives, and everything familiar. She chose to walk into an uncertain future simply because she loved Naomi. Together they arrived in Bethlehem with almost nothing. To survive, Ruth went into the fields during harvest. According to the law of Israel, poor people were allowed to gather the grain left behind by the harvesters. From morning until evening, Ruth worked under the hot sun, collecting every stalk she could find. One day the owner of those fields arrived. His name was Boaz. He noticed Ruth immediately, not because she was wealthy, not because she wore beautiful clothes, but because everyone had spoken about her kindness and loyalty toward Naomi. Boaz learned how Ruth had left everything behind to care for her mother-in-law. He was deeply moved. He instructed his workers to protect her and even told them to leave extra grain behind so Ruth would have plenty to gather. Day after day, Ruth continued working with humility. She never demanded anything. She simply trusted God and faithfully cared for Naomi. As time passed, Boaz came to admire Ruth's character even more. Following the customs of Israel, Boaz chose to become Ruth's kinsman redeemer. He married her, giving her not only security but also a new beginning. The woman who had once believed her future was filled only with sorrow was now surrounded by love, family, and hope. In time, Ruth gave birth to a son named Obed. Obed became the father of Jesse. Jesse became the father of King David. Generations later, through David's family line, Jesus Christ would be born. What began as the story of a grieving widow became part of God's greatest plan for the world. Ruth never sought wealth or honor. She simply chose love over comfort, faith over fear, and loyalty over convenience. Her story reminds us that God sees every act of kindness, every sacrifice made in love, and every step of faith taken when the future is uncertain. Sometimes the greatest blessings begin with one simple decision: to remain faithful